Dear students, let us begin with the second part of the lesson on China as a factor in India's nuclear program, in which we will learn about the factors including China determining India's nuclear program. Let us look at the factors for India's nuclear program. China is not the sole reason for India's nuclear program. Clearly, other considerations also bear weight. The fragile relationship shared between India and Pakistan, as well as India's aspirations to rise to the status of a great power, take credit for India's advancement of its nuclear program. Also, the attention given by the United States to India's rise as a peaceful nuclear capability developing state encourages India to do more to advance itself and make its weight count in the international arena. India's nuclear program is advancing rapidly due to the effort and support from scientists and nuclear experts as well as political leaders concerned with policy making decisions. It took a while for India to shake off its Nehruvian era idealism and to promote nuclear disarmament for world peace. Alternatively, from a realistic perspective, India has refrained from signing both the international treaties aiming at limiting nuclear proliferation and banning nuclear tests, the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty of 1968 and the Comprehensive Test Ban Treaty of 1996. Refusing to be a member of the NPT, India argued that the treaty divides the world sharply into two categories of states, nuclear haves and nuclear have-nots. While the former can manufacture and indeed augment their nuclear devices, the latter category was prohibited from doing so. India argued that it was discriminatory in nature and it refused to sign the treaty, citing national security concerns and interests. As for the CTBT, India was against the intrusive nature of the verification regime being developed to monitor compliance of test bans, especially the use of national technical means such as the use of satellites for verification. India seeks a CTBT that will eliminate all nuclear weapons within a time frame and a call to ban all types of nuclear tests. As we have discussed, there are several reasons for India opting to go nuclear, the emergence and rise of China's nuclear capability being one of them. We can discuss 5 main reasons at this point. First, the establishment of the United Nations, where India, due to being a British colony at that time, was forced to rely upon the British government, which opposed India's national aspirations. As a result, China obtained a permanent seat at the United Nations Security Council, while India could not. Second, the demonstration of the large scale destruction the nuclear weapons were capable of inflicting, as witnessed through the bombing of Japan in 1945. Third, the partition of India into the states of India and Pakistan. Fourth, China was a major consideration for India to develop its nuclear capability. India recognized the potential threat pursued from China, which had attained nuclear capability in 1964. Finally, India realized its pressing need to rely on nuclear capability, as it is situated between Pakistan and China, who shared an all-weather friendship with each other and a confrontational relationship with India. India has navigated a delicate balance between pursuing nuclear capabilities for its security while also engaging in an international diplomacy to prevent arms races and promote responsible nuclear behavior. Let us discuss about China as a factor in India's nuclear program. China has been a major factor in India's keenness in acquiring nuclear weapons and developing its nuclear capabilities. Since the 1962 Sino-India border war, India has come to terms with the fact that China, like Pakistan, is an adversary for New Delhi and cannot trust Beijing. Ever since the Chinese detonation of the first nuclear bomb in 1964, India has felt an even greater urgency to develop its nuclear capabilities. India is particularly concerned about China's land-based ballistic missile force along with the types of warheads it can deliver. India is aware that to maintain a relatively stable balance of power in its regional neighborhood, it needs to maintain a somewhat strategic parity with its regional rival. For this reason, it is necessary for India to improve its nuclear command and control systems. One can also not overlook the fact that China is a significant ally to Pakistan, which has been a rival to India. India's geopolitical reality is that it is sandwiched between two nations along its northern frontiers, which are both its strategic competitors while being friendly towards one another. Pakistan has developed a capable and effective nuclear system despite its crumbling economic crisis at home, largely due to the considerable assistance given by China with finance, material and even nuclear designs. Although there is much apprehension in India's political circles regarding how China views India's nuclear buildup, in reality Beijing is not greatly concerned regarding India's nuclear stockpile because compared to China, New Delhi lags significantly behind. China views India's nuclear stockpile as a way for India to enhance its diplomatic standing in international affairs. Several experts and commentators opine that the focus of China's nuclear modernization efforts is directed keeping in view the nuclear capabilities of the United States and to a lesser extent Russia. India suffers from a significant qualitative gap with regard to its nuclear facilities compared to China, hence it is not viewed by the latter as a strategic rival. This attitude persists even though India has deployed a nuclear armed submarine, tested on anti-satellite missile and reportedly begun developing a multiple warhead capability for its ballistic missiles, documents a Carnegie report. China views India's nuclear defense capability as adding up to a general deterrence in the region, but not sufficient to act as a deterrence vis-a-vis particularly China. However, one has to appreciate the rationale driving India-China bilateral relations with respect to nuclear deployments. Despite both countries possessing modernized nuclear facilities, they have embedded their nuclear policies in no first use of nukes principles. However, one can note that both of them shall use nuclear weapons against other countries only as a retaliatory measure. This significantly reduces chances of escalating their conflicts to levels of nuclear strikes. These policies suggest that China and India see nuclear weapons as a means to safeguard national security interests rather than a war fighting instruments. They illustrate the rationale driving India-China bilateral relations with respect to nuclear deployments. This was demonstrated in the India-China border tensions in the region of Ladakh. Despite both countries deploying troops in their border areas, the question of employing nuclear forces in battle confrontations has not arisen. I hope you understood about the factors including China determining India's nuclear program. We will continue our discussion about China as a factor in the next video. Thank you.